Chosen one, I don't ever get too far. And my mama said I'm special. If I don't trust you, shoot your metro. Future looking bright, nigga, got that glow. Professor X, nigga, all the gifts I show. My life like a movie shot off the hit show. Me and blessed hands make a bitch get low. James Willis, DJ CEO. Dave hit record, now we on beast mode. Let's go.
Yep. Hello?
Yep.
Okay. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hit Show podcast. Sorry about that. We live with the body positivity part 2. Got Chef Darius coming in. Add the stream. But tonight, we're going to talk about this body shaming part 2. There's been a lot of talk on social media from the last one we did, the body shaming. And we've been getting a lot of good comments, a lot of good feedback regarding this podcast. And we're going to get into it tonight. All right? Y'all give me 1 second. Can y'all hear me?
Sure can.
Okay. So now Darius posted this earlier. So we was talking about the whole Lizzo thing last time, right? About her being free and being comfortable with her weight and promoting the body positivity. So Darius posted this earlier, and y'all read it. It says, ladies, y'all gonna choose the man on the right because he's comfortable with his weight and promoting body positivity, right? So he's pretty much saying that Lizzo's doing, is it okay for men to do it too? To promote the body positivity. And our women are going to say, oh, he's sexy and comfortable in his skin, which we know they're not going to say that because it's a double standard.
Okay.
Y'all see where
I mean, I need to know who's supposed to go first on this before I start. Get on my
ladies first, please.
Ladies first? Okay. All right. So I think the first thing we need to do is differentiate what we were talking about last week and this post right here.
Gotcha.
All right. Last week, we were talking about, is there a difference in body shaming when it comes to men and comes to women?
Got you.
That was last week's focus. And the pictures used to depict that conversation was Lizzo and Rick Ross.
Right.
Okay. There's no secret that there's a whole bunch of women who love Rick Ross. It's also no secret that there's a whole bunch of dudes that love Lizzo as well. But when it comes to body shaming, because that's what we were talking about, my stance was and still is women are body shamed more than men are. And that was my stance last week. I was not saying, and I also was saying there is a big thing called preference, and you can like Coke and not have to diss Pepsi. That's my standard. You can like Coke and you don't have to diss Pepsi. Gotcha. But the problem is when it comes to stuff like Rick Ross and Lizzo, there's some women who don't particularly care for Rick Ross, but they don't necessarily slam Rick Ross. It was more men slamming Rick Ross than women slamming Rick Ross. But when it comes to Lizzo, men have a tendency, men who don't prefer plus size women will slam her. And women, in addition, will also slam her, I feel, significantly higher. I'm not saying that they both don't get it. I'm just saying that for the simple fact that the media displays a standard of beauty, and as our boy Jonathan said, it is Western culture, white driven, the standard of beauty. And men are visual creatures when it comes to attraction and finding a mate. If they are not attracted to plus size women, that's fine. My issue was there's no need to degrade and every third word calling her a fat ass bitch to refer to her if that's not your cup of tea.
Got you.
Because women don't do, because I feel that that's not the way they do Rick Ross. And that's where the differentiation comes in for me. So that is different to me than this post right here. Ladies, are y'all going to choose the man on the right because he is comfortable with his weight and promoting body positivity? Again, although women do look for the law of attraction, we are not the ones who are innately physical creatures. It's men. So yes, some women like the dude on the right. They prefer that body type. They prefer that body size. And some women prefer what's on the left. Probably more women physically prefer the man that's on the left. But women, I feel innately are looking for security and attraction. Me personally, the dude on the left, he ain't for me. He's not for me. Okay? But the bigger dude on the right, I dated a dude this big before. So I'm the wrong woman to ask because I love teddy bears. So I've dated a dude this big before. But I did also realize in dating men that big, that's not that big is not necessarily my preference. So I am married to a thick dude now. And I don't want him. And look, my only thing with him is one, stay healthy. And two, I don't want you to go under 300 pounds.
Got you.
Unless it's for health. But I prefer bigger men. I prefer thicker men. So I would be the flip for some women, for some people, because I've dated skinny dudes before. I don't prefer them, but I don't hate on them, no. And that's where I had the issue last week. You don't have to like it, but why you got to talk about it negatively and call them all types of names? Just say you don't like it and keep it moving. That's my thing.
Got you. I like that, but you got to remember what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a public platform, right? I understand what you're saying. Anytime you put something on a public platform, you have to understand people are not going to accept everything you put on this public platform.
Agreed.
So most people, and I got to be honest, are going to disagree with posts like this. And when you're saying he's promoting body positivity, they're going to say, no, he's fat and out of shape. But we change the picture and put Lizzo up there, then people are going to like, oh, no, that's body positivity. She's comfortable in her skin. It's a double standard for men and women. So that was my point of pulling this picture up, because it's such a double standard between the two. Not saying that he can't be comfortable with his weight, but there's nothing positive about being overweight and being unhealthy, whether you're a man or a woman. And I think the women had a problem with that the most. The men don't have a problem with that. It was mostly
with
just
being overweight. Is that what you're saying? The men don't have a problem with what?
The men don't have a problem knowing, hey, you're overweight, you're unhealthy. Now, we say Lizzo's overweight and unhealthy, it's a problem. It's a double standard.
I think it's the way it's presented.
Okay.
It don't matter how you present it. Fat is fat, brother. I've been overweight. I've been 70 pounds overweight, and I was unhealthy.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying more or less to the effect of, every platter that's placed in front of you is not going to be appealing to you.
Right.
It's just like the difference between people who like to mix their food on a plate versus people who like their food separate. You know what I'm saying? It's your preference. My thing on the whole Lizzo thing, and like I said before, is the fact that, number one, my first issue with Lizzo is that your presentation is terrible. It doesn't matter. Body positivity is such a vast it's such a vast circle. It just depends on who you are. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, she's confident. That's not being confident, man. There are very big, beautiful women out there. There are, and they carry themselves very well. There are some women that you would never see do that. Like, you don't see your Moniques doing that. You don't see your Jill Scotts doing that. You don't see that. Lizzo, to me, and as a man, like I say before, if you ever watch my podcast, I always say, wifey material. She is not wifey material. You're allowing yourself to go out here and let your team broadcast you in a way that's really not positive. It's not conducive of a woman of wife stature. A man does not want to see a woman, does not want to date a woman when the whole world has seen her ass. A man does not want to date a woman when the whole world is seen between her thighs. A man doesn't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Now, on the flip side of it, you got these pictures right here. I'm sorry to say this, but that fat ass nigga on the damn right is bullshit. I'm sorry. There's nothing positive about that shit. You just a fat country boy with your fucking shirt off. There's nothing positive about that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he might be a good-spirited person. You might be a great person, but at the end of the day, your lifestyle, how long you're gonna live, your content, like if you think that's fucking sexy, to each his own. But at the end of the day, the vast majority of people are gonna be like, okay, so are you trying to be a black hillbilly, or do you just need help? And if you need help, go on my 600-pound life. But there's nothing sexy about being too obese. No, you're not gonna see. Oh yeah, let's have obese runway, obese models of America. You're never gonna see that because nobody really wants to see that.
They do though. They got the BBW women, but for men, they're not gonna have it.
BBW women are different. BBW women are different. We talking about this big titty ass nigga right here. He ain't. You're not gonna be no spokesperson. What the fuck are you gonna be a spokesperson for, Kroger? Like, come on, like seriously, like there's nothing attractive about that. That's why they don't. That's why when you go to Foot Locker and buy some shoes, you see a physically fit mannequin. You don't see some fat ass, big titty, flappy ass body shape that's laying on a bed because they can't walk with some goddamn shoes on. Because what the hell you need shoes for when you too fat to walk any goddamn where? Nobody, no, you know what I'm saying? It's cool to take walks with your mate, and maybe, you know, a long life he gains some weight, maybe he's trying to lose it. But when you talk about sex appeal, when you talk about presentation, when you go to a 5-star restaurant, do you want your food looking nasty? I'm pretty sure you want your plate to look like the picture. It's fat niggas like that put their picture up from when they in high school. And then you see them in real life and you like, okay, who's sucking on whose titties here? It's bullshit. I'm sorry. It's not, the presentation is not there. And again,
Jonathan, I agree with you to an extent. So last show, we ended on the stance of westernized beauty standards, westernized idea. Now, I'm not saying it applies to the dude on the right-hand side. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying we talked about westernized beauty standards, westernized views of beauty. Okay. So this guy right here, if you placed him in Africa right now,
which one are we talking about?
Would assume that he was rich.
The fat nigga?
Wait, let me finish. They would assume that he was rich. Because
if you put him in a tribe in Africa, not in the city.
If you put him in Africa, he is looked upon as rich. Okay. And again, I'm only speaking from the amount of experience that I have. Okay. My husband is from Cameroon. He is Cameroonian. Okay. He's a fucking prince. Okay. Him having a plus size wife is a plus because it is proof that he can afford me and keep me fed and happy. Now, that's And this ain't, we ain't talking villages. We talking cities in Cameroon. Okay. So when I went to Cameroon, only women who had husbands who had money was my size. And it was common. And I'm not saying this as an excuse. I'm just coming on the platform that you were talking about last time we were here. So I have told my husband, look, I'm cool being fluffy. I've been fluffy all my life. I will never be 36, 24, 36. I will never go get a BBW. I will never get any of that stuff. But if my weight starts to affect my health, I need to do something. And the overall thought process is, if you're overweight, and again, I'm not talking about this dude in the left side of the screen, but the thought process is that if you are overweight, that you automatically have health issues. I have been a plus size girl since I was in the 5th grade. I do not have high cholesterol. I do not have high blood pressure. I don't have any health issues that are told that fat people, quote unquote, are supposed to have. I'm healthier than my brother, who was an athlete, my father, who was an athlete. You see what I'm saying? My husband, who was an athlete. All of those, I am not pre-diabetic, even remotely, none of it. And so to me, it is a false narrative for people to say, to automatically jump to, oh, what about your health, when you see a plus size person living their best life? Because not all of us have these issues. We don't.
I agree.
I think it's just another way. And you know, I saw this one TikTok, and you know, look, that ain't real reference of shit. But it was a plus size model who says, you know what, I've realized that society will not allow plus size bodies, not women, but bodies, to be happy with who they are, because then that redefines how you determine your own happiness if you're not fat.
And you know what? When I was on my show, I talked about that, and I was talking about, you know, okay, so my experience is living in Japan. Mm-hmm. I experienced when you go out of town, big people are considered to have money, but there's a but about it, because the billboard doesn't have the big person with money on it. It's got this skinny little model. Like, right. She's absolutely right about that, because you never see these top designers, well, what we call top designers, Burberry, Fendi, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, even Victoria's Secret, Macy's, H&M. You never see them promote big women or big men. They want the slim, tight body fit men or women.
Okay.
So my thing is that I think a lot of what has to do with it is how you present yourself, like how you dress, like what do you wear? Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My also comes down to your status in life. Like, are you married? Or are you single? You know what I'm saying? As a single man or as a single woman, if you're trying to get a husband or if you're trying to get a right wife, you need to dress presentably in your environment. There's nothing his fat ass is going to put on that's going to be desirable. I'm sorry, it's just not. It's not. And it has nothing to do with him as a person. It's just it's the way for centuries. And I referred back to this in the last show. For centuries in the 16, 17, and 1800s, in what they want to call the Western world, white women were building cages to make their asses look like African women.
Yes.
So, and like I said before, like the European chart, like I shared the last show, the European chart, when I went to the doctor and he's like, well, we need you to weigh about 160 pounds. I am 210. I'm not going down to 167 pounds, because right. Your European chart says that. You fail to do the research on different body types from ethnic groups. I'm not European. I'm not going down to no damn 160 pounds. That's bullshit.
Agreed.
But the issue that from the original post, the issue was the difference between Lizzo and Ross. And I thought about it after we made this show. I thought about it, and it came to me. The difference is Rick Ross.
Oh,
my bad. I don't know what happened. The difference is Rick Ross is considered to be a bad boy, and women like that shit. Women feed to it. Women think that that's cool, even though we all know that he was a baloney-faced correction officer, never committed a crime in his life. Even though we know that, guess what? He's fat. He got tattoos on his chest. He talked that he stole from Big. He did all this shit to make himself look tough, and that was cool because he looks like the tough guy. Lizzo, on the flip side, she's not a bad girl, but she wants the bad girl presentation. But when I sat and listened to her music, she's really a good-hearted person.
Yes.
Her body, but the thing is that Lizzo's team, her team of managers, her team of promoters have allowed her to be promoted in this body shape movement, which she didn't have a reason to. But the thing is that anytime she is promoted or she got her ass cheeks out, guess what? Somebody's got to Google her. And guess what? Every time you Google, that's free promotion. Every time somebody streams your music, that's free promotion.
Agreed.
When all in all they had to do was play her music. Because I actually sat and listened to her music, and I actually liked it. So we live in a world where men and women, depending on your ethnic group, we're judged on that.
Right.
It's like advertisement. Like I told somebody the other day, like if you watch any of these black reality TV shows and you get your hair done like her, you carry your purse like her, you walk like her, you talk like her, the average white woman that has seen this show before, guess what? She's gonna think that you act like her.
Agreed.
She's gonna think that you are her. It's all about how we are promoted, and we gotta. To be honest, we have to get to a point to where we say enough is enough of us being categorized and judged when we're already being enslaved by the entertainment group. It's crazy.
Okay. So I want to touch on two things that you said is just a mind. Who are we as black people or people period to judge our words off of brands that were never made for us in the beginning? Fendi, Prada, Polo, Tommy Hill, Versace, whatever. None of those companies originate with us. None of those companies, most of those companies don't even tailor their clothing to a normal black woman's fit. So just because white society chooses their work against these brands doesn't mean that we need to. That's the first thing. The billboard about plus size people not being on billboard. You know why? Because the beauty industry is a $1.4 billion industry that feeds off telling you why you are not good enough. Your hair is not good enough. Your skin is not good enough. Your body's not good enough. Your face is not good enough. You need these lashes, this makeup, this lotion, this exfoliator. It's $1.4 billion. So of course, white America is going to post to you what they think is the ideal standard of beauty to make you continue to put your money into a $1.4 billion industry. But guess what is happening now? The average size of a woman over the past few years have adjusted significantly. And what is happening? Brands are changing. I'm not the only one here that has realized that Victoria's Secret are closing. A lot of them. They're not doing fashion shows like they used to. Why? Because Rihanna brought her ass in here and she said, I got brands that are 2X, 3X, and are sexy. So I'm going to make the same shit, if not even better, for people who can fit into the clothes that I make for them. So guess what I'm going to do as a black woman and as a plus black woman? I spend my money with Rihanna. And now Rihanna.
Somebody check their mic.
Yeah, somebody's is going back and forth.
We got an echo.
That's your man, Jonathan.
No, it's
Okay.
not.
And I'm sorry, I was wrong. Beauty industry is worth $571 billion.
Jonathan, mute your mic right there, brother. Go ahead, Queen.
All right, $571 billion industry is what the beauty industry is. So your girl Rihanna said, I got friends that are sexy that are over a size 2, over a size 10, over a size 14, over a size 20, 22, 24. Let me bring out Fenty Savage. When Rihanna brought out Fenty Savage and was all inclusive in sizes, unlike Fendi, Prada, Louis Vuitton, that is when Rihanna became $1.4 billion net worth, because she adjusted to a realistic standard of beauty and became all inclusive. All inclusive. Because we here. And Victoria's Secret started losing money because not as many people want to see a size 2 bitch in wings and panties.
Yeah.
So there is a change going on. And then guess what? I still feel 10 years from now, you still not going to see plus size women on a billboard unless it's for Dove soap, unless it's for shapewear or whatever the case may be. It's not, because they don't want to disrupt a $571 billion industry. So just take it back to preference. You have some men and women, they prefer tall or they prefer short. They prefer thin or they prefer thick. They prefer light or they prefer dark. They prefer Latino, they prefer white. Let them prefer what the fuck they want to prefer. I don't have no issues with that. What I do have a tendency to have issues with is if you don't like Lizzo for undisclosed reasons, you don't follow Lizzo, you don't like her music, you don't like the way she looks, then why the fuck are you on her Instagram bashing a random fat bitch? As Jonathan puts it. Why? Why is that even in your energy? You have other shit to do with your life. And that's where my problem is.
I know what it is.
I do all of that stuff, but out of nowhere. But then I laugh because earlier this week, now everybody after Sierra. She ain't fat, but y'all still body shaming her ass.
Nah, see, she body shamed herself.
No, she didn't. She was sexy as hell.
She was, but the thing, I don't think it's a problem what she had on. It's just that the fact she's married, people like, well, why is she wearing that? And she has a husband. But the way I look at it, even though that's the next topic, I don't think it matters if she's with her husband. That's their business. But once again, anytime you put anything on a public platform, people are going to speak about it.
And they're allowed to. They're allowed to.
I'm
not saying you can't. I'm just saying.
If they didn't, we wouldn't be on here podcasting. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. You're right.
I'm all for
Okay, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let the other people speak. I'm going to be quiet because you know how I get.
I'm all for body positivity. If you feel confident and positive about your body, that's your business. There's nothing wrong with that. But B-U-T, B period, U period, T period. Once again, if you put a picture, image, costume with you in it, and you know people are going to talk about it, and you don't want
Yes.
them to, do not put it on public display.
But if you're a public person, you're a celebrity, you live in a public forum, and your relativity to the world is based on public and social media, you're going to do that.
No, you're going to put stuff on there, particularly for people to talk to, knowing it ain't right. That's not true, because not all celebrities put
It's,
everything on public display. People put
yeah, and in my opinion, I don't think Lizzo even need to do that.
No, she doesn't do it. And this thing about Lizzo, she doesn't
because
do it.
Lizzo talented.
Yeah, it's not Lizzo doing it. That's what people understand. It's not just Lizzo say, "Hey, I'm gonna take a pic in this one piece today because I feel like it." No,
it's a little bit of Lizzo doing it.
I think it's her,
because you gotta think about it. She probably does got a little insecurity issues, or maybe she feels like she's representing the demographic, so she's gonna try to put herself forward in that manner. Because let's be real, there's a lot of women who use sex to sell themselves, so it's not wrong for her to do it as well. Like, I don't think it's her handlers doing that per se to her, because they do it to women in general in the industry. If they could get you to sell yourself sexually, they're gonna do that.
And as long as there's consumer males that are going to eat up the sexualization of Lizzo, she's going to sell it. And as long as there are plus size women in the world who don't feel as sexy as Lizzo portrays to feel, you're going to have people follow her, love her, push her up, and protect her, because they don't have it within themselves to live out loud. They don't have a team to curate social media for them. You have women that may look, walk, and talk just like Lizzo that are locked up in their rooms, unable to face society because they know what y'all say about us. You see what I'm saying? I'm not generalizing everybody on the panel. I'm just talking, and we're not just talking social media. You have women and men who have mental health issues because of body shaming, because people are not receptive to all body type. And they don't know how to operate. They don't know how to operate in society. And again, I'm not talking about the overwhelming masses in society. I'm talking about the assholes and trolls that feel necessary to come out of left field and talk shit about somebody they don't know. That's what I'm talking about. So we can put Lizzo as the forefront because she's the celebrity that everybody can attack. But let's talk about your aunties who are also about big as Lizzo. Let's talk about your cousins who also as big as Lizzo. Let's talk about all of them, your uncles. How much do you care about their health? What have you said to them about their health? Not a goddamn thing. Just like Jonathan said, what do you say when you see somebody out of pocket at Walmart? Society has made it so we can't say shit to them. You can't correct. You can't give input because society has made it so that you can't. But me, if I see a sister walking around Walmart and her belly hanging out and she don't know, I will say, hey, your shirt is up in the front. You'll pull your shirt down. And you know what they say? Thank you. I didn't even know.
But that's because you're a woman. Now, if a man, if one of us did that and say, hey, you might want to pull your shirt down.
Yep, good point, James.
It'd be a double standard.
I agree with that. But
men not allowed to have a preference.
I agree with you 100%, James. But how many of you brothers tell your dudes that's in Walmart to pull their fucking pants up because they ass crack is showing?
Oh shit, I will in a heartbeat.
Exactly.
We do that.
It's
But
a sacred space.
men can take criticism. Women can't.
No,
A man can
women
tell
don't
another
want to take
man.
criticism from men they don't know.
No, women don't. Y'all don't want to take criticism from no man. If a man, I can tell.
Incorrect.
Listen, me, Daryl, and Darius get together, and I might put something on. They can say that don't look right. Now, women is different. Y'all say, you know what? Go ahead, girl. You look good, girl. Knowing she look a hot damn mess, and send
No,
her out to the
all
club.
women
Y'all
do not
it
do
every
that.
week. Bullshit.
All of us do not do that. Because we have a lot of women who, guess what? She still thinks she fly and she gonna go out anyway.
Listen, what clubs you been to lately? Go to one of these local bars.
I've been.
It's terrible.
I've been. And you look, and you know what my husband say? Damn, she got a whole lot of confidence.
What'd he say?
we be in the club and he be like, damn, that's a lot of confidence. And I bust out laughing. Because my thing is this. It's not my place. It's not my place. You're not my friend to protect. So if you decide you want to put on this crystallized bodysuit with a bra and panty set, if you think you cute and your friends that let you go out like that think you cute, who am I to tell you otherwise? You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you otherwise. And also, you also have to remember people's upbringings are different. So something that may seem like it is acceptable or conservative to an American, a Jamaican can come out less conservative, more liberal, and want to wear a Jamaican tricolored netted bodysuit. In Jamaica, it's okay.
But they ain't in Jamaica. When you over here, we're going to talk about your ass.
And that's fine. You can talk about her. But guess what? She's still going to go home with somebody. She's still going to go home with somebody.
But you know, in America, and if we see it on his show, we're going to talk about your ass. Whether it's your uncle, your daddy, your auntie, your mama. If we see it, we're going to talk about your ass. So don't put it on public display.
Hey, and the other part about it is like, hey, I want you to go back and say what you were talking about last week, because you made a really valid point at the end of the show last week. So body positivity is just not on the man and women side, but it's also, it's also talking about short motherfuckers, tall motherfuckers. You talk about somebody's dick, that's body shaming.
Oh, go ahead, get into it.
You talk about somebody's shoe size. You talk about, you
short.
Anything that you say about a man or a woman could be body shaming. But the crazy thing is this is what I find so fucking crazy and annoying that women do. And I'm sure men can probably agree with me, is this. The minute a woman puts something on Facebook and it goes on her feed, all the women are going to be like, oh yeah, you go girl, go ahead girl. Yeah, you got confidence and all that other shit. But the minute a man says, okay, maybe you could have worn this in a different way, or maybe you could have put a scarf or something around, you know what I'm saying? Like, the minute a man makes a suggestion, which is what women should want, because why do you give a fuck what the rest of these hoes say if you are a woman that is trying to find a man? You should be appealing to us. So the minute a man says, hey, you know what, maybe you should do this, every woman in the world gets offended. And I seen somebody say, oh yeah, don't say we, because some of us can take criticism. You're fucking lying. You women do not like the way men talk to them. And I'm about to use a word that we always use on the Hit Show podcast. These sip-ass niggas are the ones that sit down and agree with it. They sit down and help promote it, knowing damn well that's not what they like. And what you said was relevant because it is about your personal preference, but it's also about how you are profiled in the world because we live in a judgmental world. This world is
Yeah.
so judgmental on every single level. Black, white, fat, skinny, short, big, doesn't matter. You're being judged. So this is the thing. Like, if you don't want to be judged and you live in this society, we're not talking about Africa. We're not talking about Jamaica. We're not talking about that shit because we live in America. So if you live in America, the most judgmental, racist, hypocritical, fucked up country on earth, if you live in this country, if you do not want people to talk about you, dress accordingly, especially when you're black, because we all know, and this is not racial, this is the truth. White people can wear whatever the fuck they want. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares if a white dude goes out there with some cut off Daisy Dukes on, some house slippers, and a wife beater. Nobody cares because that's how they dress. But when you black, we are fashionable. And if you go out here looking like crap, if you go out here claiming gay, if you go out here short as fuck with a little man syndrome, we're gonna say something. The problem has come down to the fact that the world is on an anti-bully thing. So you can't, like you said, you cannot say, this hoe ass nigga, look at this fag ass nigga, this nigga gay. Oh, nigga, stop being like a little bitch. You say something like that, oh my God, the world is in an uproar because you said something about somebody that may or may not have been true. I'm a 70s baby. I grew up in the 80s. We did this shit. We played the dozens. We cracked on niggas. Our skin from the 70s and 80s is thick. This pussy ass nation that we live in now is so soft and timid and oh, you have to talk to me nicely. Why can't I express? I can't express my feelings to you as a man nicely. I can't because I'm animated. So it's a lot of problems and a lot of flaws. And with Lizzo, her main problem is not Lizzo. Because if you listen to her music speaks for herself. The problem with Lizzo is her fucking team. Her team is promoting her like that. I personally have looked up some shit with Lizzo, and there's some stuff that I was like, okay, she's got some points, but it's some other shit that I'm just like, come on, man. You putting fucking mustard on Oreos? Come on, man. So you don't want people, but you don't want people. You don't want people to talk. You don't want people to talk about you being fat, right? That's some fat shit.
That's definitely some big girl shit.
Mustard on Oreos. You and Little Yachty's little faggot ass up here putting mustard. Fucking who puts mustard on goddamn Oreos? Nobody in the fucking world. So now you got niggas walking around putting mustard on Oreos because Little Yachty did it and Lizzo did it. And this is the problem. Lizzo is a big woman. So why would you do some fat people shit on TV, on the media, on social media, and then you expect motherfuckers not to be like this fat motherfucker right here? Come on, man. You can't do shit like that. Now, if she was doing some Weight Watchers shit, eating a salad, we could be like, hey, you know what?
But why, Jonathan?
Because mustard on a fucking
why
Oreo
are we policing what she eats? Who cares?
Why is she putting it on social media for us to see?
Jonathan.
It's the
You
truth.
know you my homie. You know you my homie, and you know I love you. You know that.
Fat people shit. Can we disagree that that's some fat people shit, right?
Jonathan.
That's some fat shit, right?
Jonathan, you know I love you.
She might as well put some bologna on the mustard, on the goddamn Oreo, and put another piece of Oreo on top of it and fucking ate it. That was some fat shit.
Jonathan, on behalf of the fat girls of America, we do not all eat Oreos and mustard. I don't eat that shit because it's disgusting. I'm sure it's disgusting. Wait a minute.
Girls of America defend.
I didn't defend that shit. I didn't defend that shit. I'm just saying, I think a lot of it is just cliche social media bullshit. Okay? I agree with you with that. And I also agree with the fact that you can express yourself as a man. And that you are animated. And that's the piece I love about you. All right? I do. I love that piece about you. But I also know that you are hella intelligent. Hella intelligent. And people would probably be more receptive to your message when you use your SAT words that I know you have. You are hella intelligent, Jonathan, and have hella dope points. But to me, sometimes the message you trying to send go down the drain when everybody a fat ass bitch or a other F word ass dude. Your points are valid, but I know you have the intelligence to be able to utilize a better vocabulary to get your point across. So I don't know if the intent is for shock factor. I don't know. If that is, it's cool. And I'm not telling you to be any other way than who you actually are. But people would be more receptive to your messages, which are hella right sometimes, if you actually be the intelligent ass dude I know that you can be. I know you can, because we've talked offline, and it's your ability to explain your point is immaculate offline.
I understand exactly what you're. I understand what you're saying.
And hold on, like you just said, I want to be able to tell a woman what I feel, what I think, as a man. So I just need to make sure I understand. The way you just explained, let's say, an outfit that didn't look right on a particular woman, right? Are you married, Jonathan?
No.
You got a girlfriend, Jonathan?
I do.
Okay. Jonathan, let's be real. All men and women that's watching this feed right now, let's be real. Let's say your girlfriend comes out in a dress that's too short. Because guess what? I've been that wife that bought a dress, tried the dress on, came out, and the shit was too short, I thought. I wasn't sure. And I brought it to I came out and I was like, what do you think of this dress? Okay. My husband's like, you probably should wear leggings with that because it's a little short. Like, it's real short in the back. Or he'll say, you can't wear that out if I'm not with you. I'm receptive to that input. But Jonathan, you can't be like, Lisa, take your fat ass back in that closet and change that goddamn dress. The dark meat of your ass is hanging out, and I don't want you going out with me looking like a hoe. That's not how you're supposed to talk to your wife.
But you know what, though?
But wait a minute. Let me interject. Wait a minute.
We have a different relationship. Our relationship is a joking, talk shit relationship. Like, so at the end of it, like, my thing is when I talk like I'm talking to the homies. And I feel like
that's your relationship. Like, and that's cool.
But I'm saying,
but your average woman is not average. A lot of times we can be homie. My husband is my best friend. We play, we joke, we talk shit. But every woman, just like dudes, but we are more sensitive. I'm sorry. We are a little more sensitive about certain things. So she might not have an issue with you talking about her ass. She might not have an issue with you talking about her stomach. But if your girlfriend happens to be, I don't know, maybe not top heavy in the boobs, and you tell her you ain't got enough boobs to fill out that dress, you have struck a chord that you may not even know you've struck. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully you guys have enough of a great dialogue for her to be like, look, okay, can you say that differently? Because I'm real insecure about my titties. And hopefully you, as the man that I think you are, take mental note to know I can talk shit about everything else on her except for her titties. Am I wrong to feel that way? If she tells you,
I'm never going to be the disrespectful man to my woman. I'm never going to be.
Exactly.
But this is the issue. The issue And I'm not just saying it for me. This is the issue. What I hate the most about podcasting and about talking is these soft ass niggas that want to sit around in their suits and ties and just, oh, and by the way, I don't talk like that. And when we sit around and talk, we don't talk like that. And if you was to talk like that, I'm gonna call you on it. Like, why the fuck are you talking to me like a soft ass nigga? I don't like that shit. Because I feel like when you talk to me soft, I feel like that's a flirting thing. And as a man, I tell all women, watch Lions. Lions will tell you exactly how men act. When we're around each other, this is how we talk. We don't sit around and be like, well, let me explain something to you. Well, let me talk to you. Hey, we don't do that shit. We're like, hey, look, man, this whole ass nigga over here, we talk to each other. That's how we communicate. And that's the only way I know how to communicate. But with my women, it's a softer side because I'm going to talk to her respectfully like a man should talk to a woman. But when you talking to these motherfuckers out here, I got to get them to understand to stop falling for the simp shit. Stop falling for these soft-ass niggas that you coming on your part. So you gonna tell me that you took your feminine ass upstairs, put on a suit and tie to sit and talk to a fucking camera? This is what you're telling me. This is what you're telling me. That's bullshit.
Jonathan, I love you. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say, because I'm gonna tell you this, and this is the thing that's crazy. All right, I have always in my upbringing been referred to as sis, right? I'm the chick that can be in the room with a room full of dudes, and nobody stops talking the way they always talk. And I would never ask you to be anything other than who you are when you are talking to me. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to change you. I would never ask you to change who you are because you're talking to me. But if you're trying to prove a point to other women who may not be like me, the delivery, they're not going to be receptive, even though you're right.
It's not for them. It's not for them. And you know what? They can continue to listen to these soft-ass niggas that talk about a bunch of bullshit because they more in touch with their feminine side than I am. That's cool. Because the majority of these women like these soft. You got to think about it, man, because we've talked about this before. The masculinity of women, they are so much stronger because there's so many feminine men out here. And that's the majority of these niggas. The majority of these men that podcast are feminine men. They are. Yes. They soft as shit. They talk soft. It doesn't matter if they got a beard and bald headed. They soft ass niggas, and that's what it is. I don't want to be on this show. I don't want to talk to you because you are so. We're not going to agree. And when I talk more aggressively than you, you're gonna tuck your little tail and you're gonna go stand in the fucking corner because you're not man enough to have the conversation that really needs to be talked about. You're not. You're not strong enough to make the adjustment that you're talking about because you're too feminine to do it. You want to agree, but the thing with men and women is we're never going to see eye to eye. Men are going to see it the way men see it. Women are going to see it the way women see it. And when you have a big majority of of men that see it the way women see it, Houston, we have a problem.
All right, hold
because
on.
Men don't do shit like that.
Let me get Cyan on it, because what you saying, Johnson, Cyan has said plenty of times.
Listen,
so he agreed with me. I know Cyan. Go ahead.
Men and women are not the same. We don't even go through the same stuff every month.
Nah.
That's the biggest lie that ever told is men and women are the same. We are not the same. We are not the same. I'm telling you, we're not. We don't even think the same. Women think with emotion. Men think with logic. Women say, I feel like I feel. Men don't say I feel. Men says this is what's been proven. This is how it works. This is how it goes. This is how you get that. They don't say I feel. No, ain't no feeling. We got to speak with logic. And like I was saying on somebody else's podcast when I was a guest, I said this. Men are not allowed to do the things that women can do, not even sexually. There is no such thing as a bisexual man. Anybody that told you that is insane. Men don't get that option. If a woman come to you and say, I used to date girls, you be like, oh yeah, sit your ass down, so ain't no big deal. You know what I'm saying? You lit some cat, okay, no big deal. A man come to you, your woman, if your husband came to you said, I was bisexual one time, what you gonna say to him, Queen?
Me personally ain't my stilo. I don't, that's not my ride. But I will say, hold up, but I will say, I do have 2 friends that is their ride, and that's cool. But it's not my ride. That ain't my ride to ride. But if they cool with it, they like it, I love it.
That's the biggest problem I have. You know, I'm from Atlanta, and I run into women that tells me that they ex was bisexual. I said, huh? My ex, he was bisexual. He liked the girl. I said, you dated a man that was bisexual and you think you can be with me? They're like, yeah. No, you can't be with me. The man you require to be with is not as, he ain't as powerful as me, so I will only aggravate you. Hit the road, Jack. Burn rubber over that way. That's it.
And again, I agree with you. I agree that men are not supposed to match women's energy. I agree with that. We play 2 completely separate roles in life. I agree with that 100%.
Well, listen, Queen, the devil know how to destroy the world. That's why he's going to Uganda right now and saying, you got to accept this. He know that's going to destroy everything that they got going on. He know if he go over there and tell them, you got to accept this community, you got to accept that. Because he know by telling them to accept that, everybody else around the world look like he just asked them to be fair. No, he's not asking them to be fair. He asked them to self-destruct.
Right.
He asked them to self-destruct because basically we have self-destructed with that because the line kept being pushed. So we have self-destructed with that. And that's no disrespect, but women would accept that quicker than men.
I agree with
that.
I
can tell you why, because in that community, they worship the femininity. They worship femininity. Well, you try to say they don't, they do. They worship femininity. And a woman is a feminine thing. A man is a masculine thing. And if you're a real man, I ain't talking about no males. I'm talking about men. You know, you only a man when another man tell you you're a man. A woman can't tell you you're a man. A man got to tell you, I respect you as a man. When a man, when somebody that you respect as a man tell you that he respects you as a man, my father crowned me as a man. There was no other person that crowned me as a man. I'm his DNA. My father crowned me as a man. I've been behaving like a man ever since because it'd be disrespectful to everything he sacrificed if I wasn't behaving like a man.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And if you were raised around a man, if you were raised around men, you understand how men talk. You understand how men act. I was raised around an awesome man, and I was, you know what I'm saying, even though I'm from East Cleveland, you know what I'm saying, I was raised around men, you know what I'm saying? I'm from the hood, so I was raised around men, you know what I'm saying? You gotta get it however you can get it. But at the end of what I'm saying, what my thing is this, and this is I'm about to prove to you one point. When we grew up, we can all agree that school was segregated by who you were and who you were associated with in school. You had your athletes that side with the athletes, you had your cheerleaders that side with the cheerleaders, your nerds side with the nerds, the slow people side with the slow people, and the fat people side with the fat people. The ugly people were probably getting high, or they probably weren't even in school. So we're gonna do it like that, right? So this is what happened. The popular people, we all know most of the popular people, either they were successful or they became crackheads. You know what I'm saying? Now you had the ugly motherfuckers, the dusty motherfuckers, and the fat motherfuckers, right? They got jobs. They made themselves presentable and conducive to the environment that they wanted to be in and the women or men that they wanted to attract. And when you're driving around tomorrow, look, all the fat people and all the ugly motherfuckers got nice shit. They got nice cars. They got nice cribs. They got nice shit. So,
because we wasn't distracted by pretty motherfuckers.
No. What it is was the fat niggas. In order to get women back in the day, you had to be funny and dress nice or be on the football team if you was a fat nigga. Now, this is what happened. If you wasn't none of them and you wasn't going to the lock-ins, the skating rinks, the parties and shit like that, guess what? You was left out. Now, the reason why we got so many feminine men is because they started getting pussy late. They didn't start getting pussy until they was in their late 20s. They might have bought it. They might have got a little bit, but it wasn't consistent pussy. They wasn't getting gang. They wasn't in the mall hollering at women. They wasn't doing that shit.
Right.
So now you got all these feminine men because they've been they've been friend zoned. They've been friend zoned for so long that these women out here, they done fucked all the bad boys, all the popular niggas, all the niggas that they wanted to fuck with. And now, oh, he's so nice, you should be with him because he treats you so good. And now these niggas is soft as shit.
That's right.
Talking timid with their legs crossed, with a little bit of wine in there, with a suit and tie on. I'm gonna talk to you nicely the way up. You know what they sound like?
Gentlemen.
They sound like the lion. They sound like the lion when he was on the Wizard of Oz. Oh, I'm gonna purr. I'm gonna purr. That's what they sound like. Timid ass, soft ass niggas.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way that I can sit down at a table and talk to a timid nigga like that because you're not gonna understand. Because you wasn't in the mall with your homies getting numbers. You wasn't at the lock-ins. You wasn't dating chicks. You wasn't driving cars. You wasn't smoking weed with the homies. You wasn't doing that because you wasn't invited. You started getting invited when you decided that you was gonna jump your ass off the porch at 25. So at the end of the day, we are following people who never lived life, and they started living life at a later age. So what these older people that are our age, what they are seeing is what we saw in our 20s, and we was like, damn, that shit, we was doing that shit like 10 years ago. Why that nigga doing that shit now? Like, bro, when we try and lead you and try and guide your hand a different way, you don't see it like that. You see it like, oh, this nigga talking rough and talking stuff. But nigga, I'm from the fucking projects. You can't tell me you from the projects. You can't be 25. You can't be 25 sitting up here just learning how to cook dope. You can't be 25 just learning how to sell weed. You can't do that. This is what we was doing years ago. I see a prime example. My brother's friend went to Ohio State, was in the honors program in the honors dorm, had a full ride scholarship to Ohio State. I'm in a hood bar drinking, kicking it. I see this nigga. He got golds and dreads talking about he the dope man now. You can't wait till you 25 to be the dope man because the politics of the game, you're not going to really understand. That's why these niggas do that shit. And when a man talks with strength, when a man talks with emotion, when a man talks like he's about to, when you stand up straight, you walk out with your chest and you got your head up, you're looked at as being the aggressor. But when you walk around...
No, they call it masculine, feminine. I mean, they call it masculine. What they call it?
Toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity. That's what they call it.
But you can walk around with your little party cup like this, with your little tie on, with your little slippers on and shit like this and say, oh, I'm going to use big words like to y'all bitch ass. I'm going to use big words and I'm going to talk like I'm not white. I'm full blood nigga. I talk. So you're gonna have to be able to articulate what I'm saying, or you're gonna be one of these old ass ladies in the club talking about he gotta come to the table with what I got. Shut your old ass up. Don't nobody want your old dusty mothball smelling ass now.
All right. Hey, we gotta get out of here.
How the fuck we got here?
We gotta get. Hey, we got. I can't wait to edit this because I'm editing this with nothing but audio and pictures. This was good. But the next one, y'all make sure y'all follow us because next week for next Sunday show, or we might just do it live during the week. I need everybody on this panel back today, but we're gonna talk about this whole Russell Wilson Ciara thing, and just in general about like women wearing revealing clothes when they with their husband or boyfriend. You know what I'm saying?
Can I make an announcement?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want everybody to at this moment, I'm a rap artist. I got an album out called The Beginning of the End. My name is Saen. That's Saen. My album is called The Beginning of the End. I want everybody, if you got streaming platforms, it's located everywhere. I want you to go check it out. If you could, and I would really appreciate that. That's Saen, The Beginning of the End. It's available on all streaming platforms. Thank you.
Bet.
Make sure y'all follow us. Follow everybody on here. Dizzy the host, Jonathan Leffridge, Saen the Madman, Chef Darius. Y'all follow me, James with the CEO, and make sure, most importantly, you follow Hit Show Podcast. You will see all these people here Go to YouTube if you want to just watch the videos. We got like 300 some videos on there with all of us on there. All right. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.
Leave page open. Stay in studio.